The first thing I want to talk about, I mean, this is the crash zone diagram program. You might be using the crime zone. The crime zone and crash zone are identical programs. They have the same tools, same symbols and everything. It's just a matter of preference for users that they prefer to be using crime or crash zone. So all the same, everything you see here would be in crime zone. I'm not sure what you guys are set up with. The other thing is too, if you go to the Learning Center, this light bulb here, the first thing that comes up also when you open the program is this screen, this opening screen here. There's an update button, and if you'll go there, you just want to make sure if you're using Crash Zone or Crime Zone that you run the express update when you see there's new stuff in here, and the last changes were made 2/25 on the 25th of last month, and it only takes a few minutes to do an express update, and that's just a good idea. You know, some people could be back, 10 minor upgrades, but you can see all the stuff we've been doing in here. It's no cost to you, just keeps you up to speed with all the latest improvements and bug fixes. I'll go through the workflow I've come up with that's really going to be focused around point cloud data. So the first thing you would do, you export it out as a PTS file. And once you have a PTS file, that's where you'll come into our program here, and you're going to open up the Point Cloud, CZ Point Cloud tool. And the first thing you would do is go to the cloud here, and you're going to open up that PTS file. And what it'll do is it optimizes and indexes that data to make it fast and really efficient in our program, and then it leaves you with a CZP file, which CZP stands for CAD Zone Point Cloud. Okay, so I'll open up the room demo drawing here.
And these files to create the CZP file can take anywhere from a minute to a few minutes, depending on how massive it is.
Oh, you could have a massive file and it could take you an hour to process it. But once you've processed a file like this, it opens up very quickly from now on. So, okay. So you can see we've got this room in here, and there's a body in here. I can move through it, and chair and all that kind of stuff. So again, I'm going to stay away from all just bells and whistles without a reason. I want to show you how we would process this image here, because you can see there's some things we don't want to work with. So this whole first part I'm going through is, I'll call it setup. And right now we're going to do some cleanup and elevation adjust. So first thing I'm going to do is go to my little settings button here. I'm going to make sure my ground plane is on. And you can see that ground plane at 0 is quite a bit below the data. And that's because the laser scanner that was used has an altimeter in it, and it was set, so it probably put it up at about 80 feet or so above this. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup first. I'm going to do a side view like that, and you can see also there's a little bit of errant points or a little junk in here. So I'm going to go to Point Tools, and I'm going to do Keep Window. Try that again. Keep Window. And I'm just going to say, well, I would like to keep that. And it'll take a few seconds to process it. Okay, now all those points went away, and we never lose data. We can say you have the original PTS file, and we can save multiple versions of this, but I could always bring them all back if I wanted to. But now the next step is I'm going to pan back here a little bit so you can see. There's the ground plane. Yeah, I'm navigating with the mouse. I'm going to go back to my point tools. I'm going to do an elevation adjust, and it's going to automatically take the lowest point in here and take it down to the ground plane. And this just makes a lot of sense as you start working on it in the diagram later. So, well, there it is. So now we've got it right down to the 0 level here. Okay, so now I'm going to go to my top view, and I want to do some more cleanup here, but my tools are rectangular, like my keep window, hide window are a box. So I need to square this up. So I'm going to hold down my control key, and it'll rotate when I click on the rotate button 22.5 degrees each time, and then I let up on the control key, and I can click 1 degree or how many degrees I want at a time. And you can go to settings, and you can actually adjust that the mouse wheel rolls in a foot every time you roll it, or the step angle of the rotation's 1 degree. I could make it half a degree. It doesn't matter. It's pretty squared up. I'm going to do a keep window again. Grab this corner here. And we're just going to get rid of this outside stuff here. So I could have done a hide window and done that, but see, now we've cleaned it up quite a bit. Okay, now one more thing I want to do is I want to remove the ceiling because I don't want to have to keep pulling down in here. So I'll just do a side view again, hide window, and I'm going to go all the way to this corner. I'm going to leave a little bit of the corner because I might want to measure the height of the room later, so I'll leave it in that. Clean the ceiling off and just go back to an ISO view. Now we can see down in here really well, and if we do a top-down view, we'll be able to as well. Okay, so I'll do a top-down view, maybe pull out a little ways here, and it's kind of dark, so we can go back to the point tools and adjust contrast and brightness. I'll just lighten it up a little bit, and that'll process that. There we go. Now it's nice and easy to see. And we can actually even adjust point size and really thicken it up. You know, in case you have too many points, or you're zoomed way in, you want to thicken it up, you can do that. And now that we're all ready to start drawing, I also will turn off my ground plane. I don't want that. I don't need that showing anymore. And I'm going to start drawing, and everything I draw in here is going to display in the diagram and vice versa. So I want to split my screen. Now, if you have dual monitors, you could move this to one monitor and this to another. But right now, if you just grab the title bar here and move over to the left and touch the left, it splits it in half. And go to the right, and that splits that in half. So now we've got our drawing window and our point cloud window here. Okay. So before I start drawing, I'm going to set my properties. I want a nice thick line type just so it stands out, maybe bright blue for the outline. And now, I know you guys initially want to just focus on getting a nice mapped out 2D diagram. So what we can do, so you don't have a bunch of weird 3D lines all over the place when you start clicking on this top, because you don't know if you're clicking on the top of the wall or the bottom, is click on 2D trace mode. That's a mode. Once that's on, every point you snap to in here will always zero out. And that's a great way, even if you're going to get into 3D, this is a great way to draw a room to start out in 2D trace mode, and you'll see that in a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to start drawing my room by starting a continuous line. And you see there's nothing to snap to, so the cursor is a no sign, but as soon as I get on the point cloud data, I get this nice little crosshair in here, and I can click there, start drawing, and you'll notice something's drawing over on the left-hand side, and then I'll come down here and click, move down here and get on that corner, maybe go up and get this corner here. So now, instead of trying to guess where I was over here, I'll just come over here and do a zoom all and just finish snapping on the left-hand side and hit enter. So I've now drawn the outline of the room. Okay, and if I just go back real quick to an ISO view, you can see everything zeroed out right at the ground plane, right there. So I'll go back to top view, and we're still in 2D trace mode. So now I've got some doors and windows I might want to mark. So I see I have this door right here and a door there. Let's just do this door right now. I'll grab a point. I just want to mark. I get right where the opening is and touch it, and it drops right down to the ground plane, even though I am snapping right to the door. See, I've just marked out the door on the left-hand side. Okay. So I'm just following my list here. Hold on one moment. So we've got an outline now. We also could outline the furniture, and that will help us place the other furniture in. So I can move around, I can zoom in and out, and I want to put this table and this chair in, and I want to outline the body. Now another thing we can do is pull up this mag window right over here on the right. It's a magnification.
Make sure you minimize that window, that the GoToMeeting dialog box, because it hides that if you don't minimize that or drag it down.
What hides what? I'm sorry?
The GoToMeeting, the display box, will hide all those buttons on that.
I did. I minimized it. Can you see it?
I can
You
see it
can see all
now,
the
but
buttons.
Sorry?
We can see all the buttons, yes.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, I did move that down. I thought, okay. So this is the mag window over here, and what you can see is it fills in and magnifies the view in the point cloud. And if I move over here, you'll notice it says use the wheel to change magnification. I'm going to use my mouse wheel to magnify it. I can go higher, lower. I can thicken up the points by holding down the Control or Shift key and thicken them up. So I can do a lot in here with the mag window, and what's nice about that is if we were to come in here and say, well, it's just got to get this, there's the, I can see the table edge a lot easier in there, and I'm just trying to get the outline of the table, you know, so I have for reference. I'll just click there and pop in here. It's close enough. And I'll do the chair, just go from here to here. There, like that, get the chair in there. And I could turn the mag window off anytime I want it. But the magnification window is great for, you know, detailed areas. It's also great for outdoor long distance areas too. So for the body, we have our 3D body poser, but it's so much easier to start out with, start at the top of the head and just make a quick stick figure outline. So I start snapping over in this side. So everything I'm doing on one side is happening on the other side. See, I can start over here. I can start back over here. So I'll go right to the hand, pop that in here, come across. So it's nice just to get all your layout in place ahead of time. So really, we've just mapped out in 2D very quickly. We can put the gun, you know, in here like that. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of work in here, and this, so you can see what we did with the point cloud. I mean, there's no need to really overcomplicate it, especially if you're doing 2D work. You're just really mapping out, and you're actually snapping to real 3D points, but you're getting this nice 2D map. So for right now, I'm going to minimize the cloud here like that, and I'll maximize this area. And so what I might want to do is maybe dimension. You know, I won't do text only, but I'll do a single click dimension. I'll make it 0.5 feet tall. Click here. Dimension that room. Dimension that. Maybe go, well, let's go to symbols. And we'll go to the crime symbols. And we're going to go to office, tables. And I happen to know that work table is, where is it? 30 by 72. So I don't know if you can see the symbol dragging. I can snap it to a corner or move it around. Now I've got a symbol in here. Okay, and also let me just real quickly select these outlines that we did. Okay, I'll just grab just selected all the outlines, and I'll go to our properties to layers and show more layers, and I'll just put them all on layer 5. And I can even come in here to the symbol manager, which is right up here, and I'll take layer 5 and name it outlines. And we can always hide that later if we want to get rid of that. So let me grab, go back to symbols, and I'll grab a chair. Let's just grab a folding chair maybe. I want to see what that chair looks like in 3D, so I'll just click here and go, yeah, it's good enough. Put that chair in here like this. Okay, so we have a chair in here. Now we can place the body. Okay. Move that out of the way a little bit. And let's see here. So we have a male, 5'10", medium build, and he had a dark green shirt on. You know, we're trying to just get a general look of the body, and maybe a little more darker complected than that. And see, I can adjust. If you haven't used the body poser, you can see I can adjust all of this. I can do a top-down view and see how it looks. I can place them. I just want to get them close, and that's why I like the stick figures. I can get them close very quickly without a lot of messing around, and then come in and kind of eyeball him. And then once he's placed in here like that, if I double click on him, he comes back in, and I'll do a top view, and I can say, oh, well, I'd like to bend this leg in just a little bit more and pull the knee out here, and, you know, maybe bring in this arm just a hair more. And you just hit update. And we can even, let me go in an angled view here. You can see the head. We can even come over here and adjust the rotation of the head a little bit, and the hands. So it's right hand. More like that. Yeah, like that. And when I hit update, you'll see this kind of change over here. I'll update. We can see the hand change, the angles changed. So now that we've got that basic stuff done, we can, I'll just bring up the point cloud tool again. I'll split this screen here. And we have, let me go to an angle view here. So we have our little drawing here, and you can see the symbols and everything. So what I'll do is you have a drawing here, and you can print and save this. We could also go back here and go to Layer Manager and say hide the outlines. Refresh. So now the outlines are gone. So now if you want to label this, you know, go to text and put body, show arrow. You know, you could go through and label it. It's always a little slower when the cloud, sometimes I minimize this to speed it up. Now another thing too is if you don't want to go into the 3D previewer to view this, if you have the point cloud open, you can just go to the point cloud tools and say turn points off, and you can see all your work in 3D. Okay, so pretty quick and pretty easy. You know, if you're going to go out and get your scan, you can come back in here and do all the amount of work that you want to do. So that's all it takes to do the 2D work in here. So now if you think you might want to kind of move it, you know, you've got point cloud data, there's no reason you should really worry about doing some 3D work in it, and I'll show you how we can do that. I'm going to turn off the 2D trace mode. And the first thing I'll do is come back over here without even using the point cloud data and go, okay, well, I'm going to make the, I clicked on the, sure.
I may be getting ahead of you here, but so on the back end, when we give the detective something that they can take to court and have with them, what format is that in, and do they have to have any special software to do that?
Oh, no. Okay, so I didn't get to that point yet, but absolutely. You have let me minimize this quick. Okay, so you've got your drawing here, right? Let's say this is, you know, you've dimensioned it, you've edited it, you put whatever notes you want into it. You could add a form to it if you wanted to, you know, something like this, or, you know, and fill it out, whatever you want to do. But you saved this drawing, and it's saved in R native format, CZD, CAD zone diagram, but you can export it out to a PDF file, which could be sent to anywhere, and it can be printed out to scale, a PDF to scale, and you can take snapshots or save it as an image. But the neat thing too is if you need to print this out, you go to our print tool. You know, we do everything to real world scale. Okay, we're not worried about, you know, everything you do. If it's 100 feet, it's 100 feet. If it's 3 inches, it's 3 inches, right? Well, it's true CAD, so we have all 8-point floating point accuracy. I mean, you can more accuracy than you'll ever use. But you'll notice in the print dialog, I've got it set to an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, landscape mode, and I say fit to paper, and it comes out 1 inch equals 2.052 feet. So if I change that to 1 inch equals 3 feet and update it, that single sheet of paper is going to be 1 inch equals 3 feet. Now, if I want it to be 1 inch equals 1 foot, it'll print it out on 6 different pieces of paper. Okay, and then you can tape it together. But now if you save it out, if you change your printer driver to like a PDF driver, our PDF driver, You could then set to like a poster size scale, let's say 24 by 36. And then you could save out as a PDF to that scale and then shoot. If you guys don't have your own plotter, you can send it to the FedEx office or Kinko's and have them plot it out for you to real scale. And you could say not to scale for your displays. It doesn't matter, but you could still print it to a scale. It's up to you.
Good question. This is Matt.
Yeah, Matt.
I want to know how far away the gun is from the guy's hand, and I need that documented so that it shows up on this. I also need to know how far away he is from the door.
Okay. All right. Let me go right back to that just right now. Turn all the points back on. Let's go top-down view, trace 2D. Okay. And I'll start a little continuous line here. Oh, I already did trace the gun out. I got to just, sorry. I just need to go to my outlines and bring them back up. There it is. Close that. Let me minimize this for a second just so we can see this better. All right, and then I'll put a gun symbol in just so you have it. Where's my... Okay, I'll put him right there. All right, now you would like to dimension from the gun to where?
To the right hand.
Okay. Go to the dimension tool. Just click on that dimension. I'm probably going to make it just a little bit smaller, 0.15 in this spot. And all I can do, pick from the hand here, pick to, let's say this, the middle of the gun. And you can see I've got 1.4 feet. And I'll show you something else I can do. I'll undo that. I can go up to my, this where it says feet here. And we can say feet and inches with a decimal precision of 2. I'll leave it in there, and we can set that as high as we want. Go back and dimension again from here to here. You get 1 foot, 5.94 inches. Okay. Now I can also like click on that dimension and say, well, I'd like that text to be horizontal. It's kind of getting in the way of my chair, so I can even say, well, move the text. I can move the text away to, you know, maybe here or here, or I can slide the text up and down like that. Okay, so you have a lot of control over that, and you can dimension anything you want in here from anywhere. And you said to the doorway, the gun, or the body?
Body.
Which part of the body? Middle, the center?
Center of mass.
Okay, so let's go from here to here.
Okay.
Okay. There you go. And
very good.
And maybe I'll change it, make it a little bit 0.5. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, you've got all this data in here. It's all real world scale, dimension to your heart's content, right?
Right.
So we've already got it in. That's what's so neat about the point cloud stuff. I mean, you can map out very quickly and then just do all your determination. So let me show you a little more of that. Split this off again. Sorry, GoToMeeting tends to kind of make, I hope it looks good on your end. GoToMeeting kind of slows me down just a little bit. So
You know, we got it. We're seeing everything. So yeah, we're
good. That's great. Okay, so I'm going to go back to an isometric view, and just for fun right now, I'm going to hide all, turn all the points off. And instead of trying to draw this room three-dimensionally in the point cloud, so people are worried about dealing with all that point cloud data, you just do like we said, we get this outline here. But now I can click on the outline in 2D here, go to 3D Builder, and say, well, okay, well, I've got an 8-foot wall. I'm not going to give it any kind of color. I'm not going to give it a wall paint right now. And I'm just going to apply that to there, okay? So now you've got, all you did was elevate or apply walls to the boundary you already made. And then I can go into the doors and windows tool, and I've got a 3-foot wide door, 7 feet high. I'm going to place an opening here, start here, go to there, and then pop an opening in here. Okay. And then we can go back into the points.
Yeah, how come we lost a corner when we did that? We lost.
It's just, I think it just does that because of the display. If I turned this whole point cloud thing off and we went into 3D, it would come back.
Okay.
And yeah, it looks weird, but it's fine. And what was the other thing too? Oh, another thing we could do, just if we wanted to get nitpicky, right? That table I put in here looks like, actually, yeah. Can you guys, if I thicken up the points just a little bit, let's see if that changes anything. Be a little braver here. All right, do you notice the chair, the symbol for the table is a little bit lower than the table from the point cloud? Can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, see the brown symbol is not quite, so I can click on the table symbol, go back to the 3D Builder, and now it says, oh, that symbol height is 2 feet 5 inches. So I'm going to make it 2 feet 6.5 inches. Let's see what happens if I apply that. Okay, and it went right up there, and maybe I could add another 1/4 of an inch to it just to get it right on. And then that chair didn't quite reach, so I'll click on the chair and go into 3D Builder, you know, and just make it, I'm just going to make it 3 feet tall. It'll be a little bit bigger, but watch. Oh, that's almost spot on. So there you go. So you can see the symbols, you know, the point cloud data in there and use that. So now we've got our symbols mapped out 2-dimensionally, but we've also placed them at correct height, you know, in case you have bullet trajectory or something. So with that being said, I'm going to now show you how to draw in 3D. So I'm going to turn off 2D trace mode, do a little isometric view here, and let's just say we had a bullet trajectory that went from this target across to that target. All right, so I'll change my line color to red, and all I have to do is start a single line, and if I want, I can turn on the mag window, and I can get right on the center of that. And notice I've got a 3D line drawing, and you can see it's drawing over in here as well. And I'm just going to, now I'm in the middle of drawing, so if I click my mouse, it'll click to something else. But if I hold down my control key, I can rotate while I'm drawing. And I don't even have to zoom in. I've got my mag window on over here. See, I can get right in that middle, right there. Click. So we've just created a trajectory line. And I'm going to do a couple of things here. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to snap a point to that trajectory corner and snap a point there. And make sure those are 3D. Yep. Okay. So then I'm going to go to the Recon tools, and we have this lovely little slope calculator. I'm going to pick the first point here, and I'm going to pick the second point here. And it gives us all our slope information, horizontal information, slope information, and we can actually even place that as text in the diagram. Okay. So there you go. Your total movement of the XYZ data, your horizontal distance, and you can see it's a 17-foot long slope, 13.2%. So we can do that, and then the next thing we can do is click on this trajectory line and open up the trajectory cone tool, and I won't hide fills at first, and I'll just apply the cone, and then we get the cone in here. So you get the 5-degree trajectory cone, and if that's a little too much for you, you can just double click on that cone and say hide the fills and apply that, and it'll just make it see-through, you know, wireframe. So pretty easy to do all your work in 2D, but if you just feel like you need a little bit of 3D work in there, you can transition over to that. So that's how we do that. And any points we clicked on in the point cloud to create the outlines and to create the body and the stuff, if we want a report of that, we can go to the export tools here and go to the Cloud Point report, and we'll give it a name, homicide test. Okay. In case somebody wants a point list. Now, we've just generated a point list, so if you wanted to just see what that looked like, you could go open up that file, but we can just use our coordinate data table just to get a quick look at it, and I'll just go to Formats and open it up, and there it is right there. So it does show you the northing easting elevation and point number for every point, and then it just automatically gives them a description of, point 1 and point 2, line point 1 and so forth, because we just used a bunch of lines. So what I might want to do is have different descriptions. So I'll close this, and it's really easy to do, is just to click on, let's see, this border here, and right click and say Cloud Point Description, and it'll come up, and I'll say it's room, room outline, and I'll apply that. And then I can apply that, and then hey, what's going on here? Get out of here. Sorry, let's go to meeting for me again. Right click here, call that desk. So we could keep, it doesn't take very long just to apply to all those, but see what happens is I actually clicked on the line used to make that description. See, now it's room outline when I click on it. So now if I, let me do one more here. We can, and the body too. So I'll put firearm. Okay. And let me just zoom up. I could actually left it open if I wanted to, but let's just click on, get away. Just want to get one line in here for the body. There we go. And right click, say body. I'm going to apply that. I'm going to resave the data back to homicide tests. And now, if I open that up in here, desk, and I didn't get all of them right, but there's body, and firearm. So those are, it'll apply, it knows that what points were used to make those outlines, it just applies that description. So now you have a, if somebody requests that you have a point list, you can send that off. Okay.
So is that point list something that would routinely be requested as part of discovery?
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised if the opposing attorney, even if your attorney might ask for it, the opposing attorney will ask for it many times, because if somebody else is investigating the scene, they might be wanting to compare the data.
Okay.
So you're not giving them your diagram necessarily, but you sure, so have you guys ever used total stations for your work?
Our traffic people have.
Okay, when your traffic people go out and when they go out and shoot with a total station, they are essentially generating a list of single shots that could, add up to, let's say, 250 to 500 shots. They usually have to send that list off that coordinate, they call it raw data. Point number, northing easting elevation, which is really XYZ, and a description. And that way, sorry?
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Okay, so I'm just showing you how you could do that straight from this. I mean, in Crash Zone or Crime Zone, you can also use the coordinate data table to create a baseline data. For instance, you come in here and do, let's see if I have one. I don't know, I'll just make up something here. Count, what's that one? That's not baseline. But as you were to go along and make your baseline data up or your triangulation data, you're getting a list, and you can actually also save that list and produce it and give it away to somebody. So with baseline triangulation, you're entering this data in. In formats, you're importing data. So this was really designed for people with total station data to bring in the type of format they were used to, and then, of course, we set up the point cloud data to be the same. So you're always going to have that list. So there's other features and tools you can use with the point cloud. You saw the contour and the brightness. If there was this carpet was getting in your way, let's say, of seeing something, you could go to the point tools and do a hide colors. And you see the cursor changes to this kind of circle. Well, there's so many RGB colors in here because it's photographed. This obviously, this is not all the same color. So this samples a big chunk here. So if I click here, it'll go through and it'll find everything that was in that circle with that RGB value and remove it from the drawing. So you can see we have a lot less of that carpet in there. And then you could just repeat that whole hide colors thing again. You know, you're trying not to get rid of, you might want blood stains to stand out, so you're trying to get rid of the carpet. See, I'm able to actually kind of start getting rid of some data. So I'll go into isometric view here. So you can see we got rid of quite a bit of the carpet. And we can take snapshots out of here. So you've got your diagram over here, but you know, you wanted to see your gun and the body. Maybe you just want this imagery right here. Take a snapshot. It takes a second because it's taking a high-res image, or there's just a lot to shoot here. So it's actually creating a JPEG or a bitmap here. There it goes. And come back over here and click on the camera here. And there's your image. And you can actually place a snapshot image in here or in your report. It saves it to a snapshot folder. You can take it many, many images. But once I have that image in here, let me minimize this.
You can also print that separately. You can select it and print that alone.
Sure.
Or
See,
save
yeah.
it as a JPEG if you need to
Right.
share it.
So I could add many, many more images to that. I could take out the cloud data and just have the 3D one in here. But you can see that was what we were looking at. And what Anna was saying is if we go to print, we have this thing that says print selection only. It's not highlighted, so I'll just close it. I'll just select that and go back to print. Selection only. And now we can just print that all by itself. Or, you know, you can add it to your report. It's just a JPEG file. We can bring that kind of data in, no problem. So another neat feature is, let me just, anything else before I close the point cloud out? Is there anything else you'd like to see in here?
Eric, I've got one.
Yeah.
Eric.
Yes.
Can you show us, can we put a legend in there and maybe some evidence markers down? Is that something that we can just kind of put in ourselves?
Oh, absolutely. We have, you can, all kinds of labeling. So we don't need that. I'll close this out for now. Close that. Zoom all. So we have this bubble label tool here, and you can pick any kind of, you know, evidence, photo, or just a bubble with text in it. You know, you could say, well, this is, you know, gun 1, and come over here and touch this. Put that in there, and maybe you have a sample, maybe you have sample 1, maybe there's some blood samples or something, and you put sample 1, sample 2.
Do we have the evidence marker symbols that they can?
They're somewhere in there. Also, I was going to show them, I'm hoping I have that mock scene. Bear with me, I wasn't expecting this here. Let's see, SPAR. Here we thought I saw it right here. I'll open up a drawing for you. Here's another drawing, and see these little evidence, we have evidence marker symbols that you could place in there, but it's just to look like, you know, like one, but they're still numbered and labeled in here. So this is a scene that was mocked up at a trade show, but it was a full crime scene with trajectory cones. This was all done out of the point cloud as well, and I can view it in 3D. And so you can see all that in there. And let me go back to my drawing. And then you talked about a legend. You would have to fit, you would just create your own legend. If you wanted it in here, if you wanted it actually in the drawing, you could just create it. And you could even make a legend form if you wanted to and save it with, we have the ability to save custom forms, user forms. This is a form creator, and then you can save user form 1, 2, 3, or 4. So you could just, if you guys have a legend or you wanted to do, say this was your legend, here, and then multi-copy. I mean, I'm just making this up. Like that. There we go. Select that. Oh, not that one. User forms, form creator, and it's going to be, I'm going to call it number 5, user form 5. So let's go 5, pick point 1, and I'm going to hit OK. Okay, so I get rid of that. And from now on, if I go in here and click on 5, I can pop that in here. So I can have,
would have all your evidence and text and everything pre-done.
yeah, you could have put text and evidence in here, and we have a templates folder. You can save and create. Any drawing can become a template, and you can apply, there's like data sheets. Here's a baseline form, for instance, that we developed with local police departments. They're still doing, a lot of departments are still doing baseline measurements, which is, fantastic, because, we feel that you're going to combine everything at some point, total station baseline and point cloud data. So they've got this all designed so you can do a 3-hole punch if you print it out to fit full, and they can do a field sketch in here. And let's see if I can just quickly show you an example of that. I might have a little, here we go. Here's a snapshot, kind of a scanned image of that, and fill it out. But you can make, we made that form right in here. You could do all this. This is not hard to do. You just keep playing around with it and get exactly what you want. You can go in and change it anytime you want. But this seemed to work out really, really great for what the majority of people were doing at the time. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Good. It would be simple to do a walkthrough animation in here if you wanted to. Even if you weren't really getting into it or whatever, it's not that hard to just work through it. Just kind of come in like this. Just draw a line, and we go to our animation tool here and add what we call a key event point, and it says going 2 miles an hour. And I can actually even put a body on there. I could put any symbol on there I want. I know you said you probably wouldn't do it, but I'm just wanting to show you how it's pretty easy to set something up. Pop a symbol on here.
He walks into where he gets shot.
Yeah, it could be the guy who got shot. It looks like him, doesn't it? Same clothes. So this just gives me a kind of a preview of what it does before I print it out, so you could do that like that, and I'll stop that. But what we might want to show is the viewpoint of the driver here, and I can actually set my elevation up to about 5 feet and maybe move a little bit more forward on the path and a little more to the right. Oops. So I can get kind of right in there if I want to. Yeah, we overdid it. Here, let's go up a little bit. So now you could do a little walkthrough. So you can do it like that, or come down to 2 feet. Okay, 2 feet. And I can adjust all these values here, or let's do this. Move along the path a little bit more forward, like that. left. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll actually start from the beginning, and I'll make this a movie. Just hit the movie, call it test, hit OK. And you'll see how smooth it gets. So there's 205 frames.
What format does the movie save in?
Saves into WMV format or AVI formats, and you can choose different codecs and different, you can set it to HD, you can set it to a 16:9 screen. So, you know, it depends on what you think you're going to present it on.
Right. But that file, then, once you save that as a WMV file,
You could send it, yeah, or AVI, you can send it to anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here I'll just go through here and get to the point. I can stop it in the middle of it. So what I'll do is I'll wait till we kind of start seeing the body here. You know, because right now it's...
More questions. So
Sure, go ahead.
If you wanted to do the 3D view where you show the different angles, could you save that as a movie as well?
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. I can have 100 movies associated with this. So we could do angle off and then show somebody walking through it, and then we could be the person walking through it. We could adjust the height of that. Yeah, there's all kinds of neat little things you can do with that. And yes, you could. So you would definitely, and you might even do a top-down view, even, right? So yeah, you're not limited at all. You saw me do the first one when I was off to the side, and now I'm just kind of positioned where I wanted to be walking here. So I've got about 124 frames. I'll let it get closer here. So you can see the text and the gun and the body, and you could say, well, this is what it looked like when the witness walked in.
And each of those frames could be saved as stills. So if you want to just grab a few of them, if they don't allow an animation in court, you can still show a series of stills that depict motion.
Sure.
Okay.
So let me just stop that, and I'll just say, yeah, I want to cancel it, but I'll do a quick play the movie here.
There you go. Windows Media Player.
Okay, and there's your Windows Media Player. And then if I open the movie folder, there's the movie, and if I go back, here are the frame. Oh, I didn't save the frame, sorry. So what I would do next time when I save the movie again, let's say, click on the Create Movie. See, I can pick WMV, Windows Media Player, or go to an AVI file. But I also can go up to Settings here, say how many frames per second. I can hide the path. I can save frames with the movie. And then each frame can be a bitmap or a JPEG. You can actually even set the resolution of it, of each frame. And you can even show captions on here, like the frame count, the time, maybe the speed or velocity, yaw, pitch, and roll if you wanted it. You don't really need all that. And if you hit OK, you'll see that list showing up in here. The 2 miles an hour, the frame number 1 of 205, and so on. And that'll be in each frame. So if I click on here and say OK, yeah, I'll replace it. I'm only going to just do a couple frames so you can see this. So it's doing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's get to 10, and we'll cancel it. Open the movie folder. Go back 1 frame. There's your 10 frames. Here, I'll open one up.
Okay.
And see how it's listing them here, 6, 7. I'm thumbing through them. So each one's this JPEG.
A slideshow if we want.
Sure, and then you could just pick the key points out to show off. Yeah, so I just want to show you. It's not that hard to do some quick animations. You know, it's someone says animation. It's just, you know, if you're an accident reconstructionist and you might have something really complex, and actually we make the tools easy for that. But if you just want to go through and do some walkthroughs and show some different perspectives, it's really not that hard. You can set your paths up and play around with it and get the view you want. So that's why I wanted you guys to see it. All right.
We could do a satellite image too.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's another thing too. Let me minimize that. Did you get? Are you aware that we also can bring in Google or Bing satellite images?
I think I saw that in some of the material that Anna sent to us.
Good. So this is kind of a neat little feature. Like here's our office. I could actually place that in, and I could have aligned that the data we made to this. Like I can place this image in, georeference it, and then I'll go back to, oh, did I save my title? Let me go back to test. There it is. Okay, I'm going to take this drawing here. Oops, select all. I'm going to copy it to the clipboard. And I'll just move back. I could have done it in this drawing too, but I already made that new drawing. So let's go back here and I'll paste it into the drawing here. Okay, so this is the corner. If you can see the, I'm not going to zoom in yet, but this is the corner. This is where this room was actually shot. So if I select that and I use this align tool right here, align common points, and I pick this point here and that point here, I can then come over and pick this point here and any point along there and actually align this room. And this is the actual area of the room in the office building where that took place.